What is going on, everybody? I am back in Arkansas for a few days. If you guys don't know, I'm from Arkansas originally, live in Arizona now with all the guys at the Tech Buds house. And I have a car dealership there. So I flew back to Arkansas to work out a few things with my dad and see my mom for Mother's Day. I surprised her. Actually, I'm at her house right now. I surprised her for Mother's Day. Didn't even tell her I was coming down. Flew across the country and just showed up at her front door. She cried a little bit, actually, but yeah, I'm back in Arkansas for a little bit, but I actually came back for that reason and then a few other reasons that you'll see either in the next video, and then what I'm about to explain in a minute is I have a used car dealership in Arizona, and there are some awesome benefits in Arizona with used car dealers or for used car dealers, but there are also some major cons that we're running into having a used car dealership there. So I flew back. As some of you guys also may know, my dad has a used car dealership here, and I actually helped him, build it and, worked with him right before I moved to Arizona. So I'm going to explain to you guys these issues in just a minute and then talk about the solution that Caleb and I are going to try and figure out, where I think it'll definitely play a huge role and benefit us a lot if we can get this sorted out and if we can get this all going. So come inside with me and I'll show you guys. I promise you guys don't want to miss this. What I'm about to explain to you guys. If you're ever thinking about opening a used car dealership, understand your state's laws. I'm going to explain it all in a second. Yeah, come inside. Let's go. All right, so I am on my cell phone. Sorry if the camera quality is not the best and it's propped up against my laptop. But this is actually a really important video for anyone wanting to start a car dealership. Understand the laws in each state and how to use them to your advantage. And know what you can capitalize on and what, might be a barrier in the future. So as some of you guys know, I have a car dealership in Arizona. In Arizona, the biggest downside is there can not be any check engine lights, any lights at all, basically, because of emissions. So if there's a check engine light, it will fail, I'm pretty sure, automatically. What that has created, for example, is people, whenever you sell a car, in 15 days, they have a lemon law in Arizona. So a used car dealer, if they sell a car in 15 days, they have to fix it if any check engine light comes on. And you better believe, if a check engine light comes on in Arizona, people freak out. We have 3 people coming today at 10 a.m. just for check engine lights on. And people don't understand that when we get these cars at auctions, we can look at Carfaxes, we can do all this stuff. But when we get them from auctions and we get them from trade-ins, we don't know the history like they think we would. So they get mad at us and want us to fix them, but we only have one shop. So when there's 3 people coming in, it creates this huge issue. And then when we buy them with minor check engine lights and try and fix them and it's not the issue, then that's another barrier where the car sits on our lot for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we can't figure out what's going on because we know we can't sell it with it on. 2 months from now, they will still call us. They have called us 2 months later and said that. It's happened twice. And it's just a hassle. It's not a big deal because there are a lot of pros in Arizona. But one thing that I thought about is we use this new auction site. It's all online where you can buy cars all over the United States. They're new car trade-ins, which is what I like to buy best. So say we find a car in Missouri, I can buy it and then send it to Arizona. The downside with this is the only thing at that point you have to factor in is the high shipping charges because you're basically shipping it across the entire country. That eats up a lot of the margin. So, and if the check engine light's on, but if, say, the description of the vehicle says engine's good, transmission's good, everything around it is good, but there is an EVAP code where the check engine light's on. EVAP seems easy. It can be very, very hard to track. So we understand this because we've dealt with it on a lot of like Toyota Highlanders. We'll go, oh man, that could take 3 weeks for us to figure out. Why can't we just send this to my dad in Arkansas where no one expects the check engine light to be off, and then he can sell it, and then he can take a percentage of the profits, and I can take a percentage, or Caleb and I can take a percentage of the profits, and then just do it over again. Because we found a ton. There's been some in Fayetteville, Arkansas. We actually saw one with bullet holes in it, which is pretty wild. But Fayetteville, Arkansas, Missouri, and all these states, Arkansas, Missouri, Louisiana, they don't require emissions. Here in Arkansas, whenever I sold them here, you could have it on, and if it was off, it was like a bonus. I'm not joking. My dad yesterday literally told me I sold a 280,000 mile F-150 four-door with 281,000 miles for $3,500. In Arizona, if that has a check engine light on, I can get that thing for $900 all day long. So think about the margin there. But now that we have this online auction, if I find these in Arkansas, Missouri, Louisiana, anywhere on this side, I can send it to a state, Arkansas, that doesn't require emissions, and my dad can sell it through his business and make a profit. I eventually want to set up a location here where you can do that as well. A lot of people have been saying just set one up in a different county in Arizona, but we've had buyers buy them that lived in those counties that didn't require emissions, and they still want the check engine light off because they're surrounded by areas that do. It's like being right on the edge in like Texarkana, which is Arkansas and Texas, where Texas requires emissions and Arkansas does. They're now aware of emissions because they're so close, and now they start to expect it. It's just whenever you're surrounded by it and you hear it every day over and over, whether it's your dad, your mom, your great grandpa, whatever it is, you start to expect it. And it's fine, I get it, it makes sense. But where we're gonna capitalize on it is whenever they have these and maybe we find them online, I'm just gonna have a partnership set up with my dad to where he sells them off of his lot in Arkansas, where it's a bonus if the check engine light or no lights on the dash. Honestly, everything's usually on in Arkansas when it's like a 99, 98, and they do not care. And the price doesn't change. And here in Arkansas, there's rust. So imagine if I find one in Arizona where it's not a rusted, like rust state, where the frame and the body's all in good shape. It's just faded because it's the sun and it gets so hot. But there's no check engine lights on, or there's only one light on, and say it's the check engine and there's no ABS or brake light, and we can't sell it. We could sell it for even more in Arkansas because one, it has no rust compared to most of them in Arkansas or Missouri or Louisiana. Two, it's only got one light on the dash instead of 5. So it's a huge pro for my dad where he can make some money and we can too. Or we could try and sell it here and then they're going to bring it back in 15 days like the 3 people today. So yeah, it's just part of it. It's just something I wanted to share with you guys. It's something to really understand if you're buying and reselling used cars. If you plan to do like 18, 19, 20 models where they're almost brand new, where they haven't had time to really have any issues yet, maybe you'll be okay. You probably will be okay. I mean, regardless, we're fine. It's just we've seen a lot of great deals, and I know they're good cars mechanically that you can't figure out how to get the check engine light off, so no one will buy them in Arizona. So this is our solution. We're going to send them to Arkansas, whether we find them in Missouri, whether we find them in Arizona. Maybe we get a truckload full in Arizona to make sense of it and send the truckload to my dad for the meantime, and then say, hey, you get $200 every car you sell. Helps my brother because he works there, helps my dad, and it helps the people there because they're going to get rust-free cars, and they don't expect the check engine light to be off. So that's my rant. That's really it. Think about it, guys. It is just me literally talking about something that's been on my mind for a while. Not a big deal. Arizona has a bunch of pros, and then Arkansas has a bunch of pros, but if you can figure out how to intertwine them together, there's lots of states like that. It's not just these two. It's all of them. But emissions is a huge hard thing to get around whenever you're a used car dealer and you have like 30 cars at a time, because like, for instance, actually, before I let you guys go, we sold a Honda CRV, a black one. It was a black 03 Honda CRV. Guy test drove it, check engine light came on. It was known that the check engine light was on before he even purchased it because it came on his test drive. But that's the crazy part, is we drove that thing for hours, probably an hour and 15 minutes, and then to the bank and back, whatever, about an hour and 30, not hours. So we spent some time with it and no check engine light went off. It's just crazy that, and then we got it as a trade-in. So whenever he took it on his first test drive, it went off. And now he's asking us to fix it, which is totally fine. But when you have one shop and you have other cars you need to detail to sell, to stay afloat or make some profit with the business, you're occupied with a previous customer. So now you have to fix his car first. And we have 3 today. So it's just really crazy. And that's why half the reason why I flew in, other half was it's Mother's Day. But just to work with my dad to work something out to where when we find good deals that I know are mechanically good, that have check engine lights on, we can still sell them because I know they have some room in them. We just can't do it until we figure them out in Arizona, and it is way tougher than you think. Usually the simple stuff's even harder because you have to diagnose it, and it takes hours to figure out sometimes where some like evap leaks are. So that's my rant. That's my solution for the emissions states. Find the state that's not emissions. Find someone in the state. Make it work. Do it. You got this. That's all I got. It's that easy. We're going to make it work. Not a big deal, but just a way to capitalize in another way and work around something that they told us we can't do. We can do it. We're going to do it. We're going to prevail. It's fine. Dad, I'm coming to your car lot and we're going to work some numbers out and we're going to make some money together and we're going to profit and it's all going to make sense and you're going to have rust-free cars. That's my rant. Goodbye. Gotta go work. He's about to pick me up. We're going to start talking stuff, figuring out transport and all that stuff. Boom. See ya.